Hello, y'all. This is Cardinal Lawn Life, your boy. Give me a few minutes. I'm gonna get myself a drink here. Make it up. Doctor's Thunder. Hopefully, people will start popping in. Cause I got pretty cool stuff on here tonight or this afternoon. I got a nice orange long sleeve shirt and a face shield for when I'm weed eating and stuff. Just the only time you guys will get to see it is if I'm weed eating. That's about it. Just to keep all the stuff out of there and all that good stuff. I did do a lawn today, but it was just dealing with some stick ups and stuff like that for this maintenance. So I did work today and stuff like that. But you can, like I've been saying, you can make a decent amount of money. And I do know for sure that I got to work tomorrow. Finish this week out. Stuff like that. The shirt that I had got today is right here. It's long sleeve. I can wear it with under any shirts when it's wintertime and stuff like that. Or when I'm mowing, I can throw on some two shirts with my business shirt. And then I got this yellow thing. It goes right over my head and it's got a place so I can, breathe and all that good stuff. So it's like a little face shield for when I'm weed eating. I can wear a hat over it. Pretty, pretty awesome. With some stuff, I could throw it on like this, and I can go and weed eat all that good stuff with this mask, and I can weed eat and blow with it on, and I won't get any debris or whatever in my mouth from blowing and weed eating. So this is good to have when you're working. Whether you like it or not, it's a good mask to have when you're out there working and stuff. And it keeps all that stuff out of your system. And again, it's so much easier if you can wear something like this over your head. It'll absorb the heat because it is stretchy, as well as the shirt that I have here. Um, like today, I made 40, and then I spent 40 on these two things, and then I got back $19. So it was well worth it for something that would help me in the lawn care business. So it's very well needed. Um, and then today, when I went to work, I used a bungee cord, and it worked out very well. As you can tell, it snapped off the ends, but that happens when you're in a hurry to go to work. It's cheap. They're cheap bungee cords, but they get the job done whenever you're trying to get the place to place. If it's a short distance and stuff, I won't bungee nothing, but it's always good whenever you're doing what you got to do in this business or the career that you're working in. I do have a lawn care bracelet. It's revival. So if you get lost during landscaping or whatever, you have a revival bracelet. So that's why I call it landscaping bracelet, because I always wear this when I'm working. But today I forgot it here. I forgot it here on my desk today, so I didn't get to wear it. Another thing when you're in landscaping or lawn care or whatever, you want to have eye protection. That's the main thing, or at least ear protection, all that good stuff. I do have a fan, which is right now that I need to start wearing whenever it gets hot during like the summertime. I do have that. I think I've showed this once before, but I can show it again. It just goes up and around your neck, and it blows cold air on your neck while you're working. It's well needed whenever you're out there in that heat. It is rechargeable. The on button's here. It's a real cool fan, cooling fan. It'll probably help you in the long run if and it will, because it's white. It will get dirty, but you can use a wipe or whatever and pretty much wipe it down. But this will come in handy when it's like brutally hot. Yeah, it recharges, but it is not Bluetooth. If it is, I don't know anything about it, but it's not Bluetooth as far as I know. So it's cool. It's a cooling fan for when you're out there working. It just goes, like I said, it just goes up and around your neck and stuff like that. It is pretty cool. All the stuff that I have is pretty cool. It keeps you cool and all that other good stuff. Now, the main thing of this channel is a lot of times, you might think to yourself, "Oh, you're not a landscaper, you're not this or that," but the bright colors will actually keep you to where you're not getting hit by cars. As you can tell, I got plenty of other bright colored stuff in this closet right here next to me that's in reach. I got a reflector vest. I got a reflector raincoat. So if I'm out there working in the rain or whatever, which you'll never hardly do, you won't hardly do any of that unless it's something, if somebody needs their yard done ASAP and immediately. But you ain't gonna be mowing in the rain. You also want to make sure you got plenty of weed eater string on hand for when you're working. That's just the main thing about landscaping and lawn care, is you got to make sure you got plenty of weed eater string, plenty of sunscreen and stuff like that, which I have plenty of, but I just highly don't even wear it. Now, if I was bald, which now I got hair coming in, I would put sunscreen on top of my head. But no matter what, I put sunscreen on. But that's the main thing why I got this long sleeve shirt here on my desk, is so I can wear the long sleeve up underneath the short sleeve, and it'll be a lot cooler there if I had just had two shirts and whatnot on and so forth. Now, the cooling fan will help as long as this fan will keep you warm, or it'll blow cold air on you as long as it's charged. So make sure that if there's a day that you know you're going to be working, that this is charged up so that way you can use it on the jobs that you're going to maybe be on, or if you're on your bike or whatever cruising, you got a fan to keep you cool. Besides that, you're pretty good. You know, here in a few minutes, I'm actually going to go outside and show you the trailer, show you the things that I use, the blower, the weed eater, stuff like that. Um, I did run them today, uh, for for a little while on jobs. I just did 2 yards today, nothing too crazy, just where I was cutting up stick ups and stuff like that, here and so forth, here and there. So other than that, the yard looks good. Everybody's yard looks good. Even though I didn't do everybody's yard, I just did 2, and it just works out to where it just goes with that. So and so forth. And like I said, you just want to make sure you got a little face shield to keep the dirt and debris out of your head, out of your mouth, or out of your lungs, or whatever. Especially if you're working on a dirt road like I do over here across the street, you want to make sure that um, you got something to keep the dust or whatever out of your mouth while you're mowing or whatever, um, and so forth. Um, Besides that, just making sure you're keeping making money, doing what you gotta do to keep with the career, and to make sure you're making also enough money to pay your crew members. But other than that, with the landscaping and the long runs, you ain't got nothing to really worry about. Besides, if you're getting off of work, you just want to be careful going home. But because traffic and drive time, so you just want to just keep that in mind if you're out there working like me. So, but yeah, a little face shield here and there, you're good. If you as long as you got your face shield, you're good. Um, it just does it. It does it for you. And again, you can just put a hat over it, whatever, a cowboy hat, whatever, and you should be good because you got a face shield. So, um, I haven't tried it with the ear protection to see if I could put this on and the ear protection to see if I can still listen to music. But other than that, you got a face shield. Um, I've been over this once before. You want to make sure you got a tool to cut the weed eater string, wire cutters. Um, the kind of weed eater string I use, been over it before, and I'll just show it again. It is the yellow and something so forth weed eater string. This is a pretty big spool. It'll get me around for a while. You can tell that I hardly ever used it. Now going back into this lawn care business, we'll see how much how much use I can actually put into this weed eater string. I already have some cut out, which is right here. The main thing of that weed eater string, and it is pretty thick. It cuts good, like it is actually supposed to. I could run steel weed eater string in the Echo, but I don't count on it or rely on it like I do this type of weed eater string that I do use. The edger I use is an Ego. I showed the battery already before. I don't need to show it again, just because safety reasons. But you do want to make sure you got, snips to cut the string. And they are sponsored by, I don't sponsor them, but they are Craftsman. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it is Craftsman. Um, pretty sharp. I just need to go and file them a little bit and make them a little bit sharper. Um, that's about it, really, to be honest. With the landscaping thing, but I could actually go out back and show you the tools and stuff that I use. Um, the edger's actually the part of the edger's in here. The other half is out in the shed. But the weed eater and the blower. Uh, the blower's a backpack. Weed eater's an Echo handheld. Trailer locked up right now, but I do have reflectors all the way around. But that's going to be on a later date because I'm running out of time right now to show everything. But the day that I show the whole setup will come on here real soon. But and right now I just ain't got the whole 9 yards to show everything. If I do show it, it will be on YouTube short or it could be on my live. But as of right now, I don't have like the time to go out there, hook the trailer up, and show everything and the whole setup. So one of these days it'll be on YouTube, and you guys can check it out and see it, and give me the likes and subscribes or whatever, and comments. But as of right now, I do not have the time to do it because I've done 2 yards today, and I'm extremely tired. You could probably tell. And then I gotta go. I gotta get rested up and go back to work tomorrow. It's just, I gotta go clean out a fire pit. Get all the ashes and stuff out of it and dump it. So and so forth. But it is what it is, and you just got to do what you got to do to for a living, and to whatever makes you money is what you want to stick with. I've said that once before, but you just want to do what you can to go with that career, or you want to find a career that you want to stick with, and then just keep going it and doing it. So and so forth. And landscaping, I'm just going to stick with because it's in my blood, and I like being outside. So, and when you do the work, you want to make sure you're doing a good job, and that's with any job, really. So that's with just about any job. You want to make sure you're doing a really good job, making sure it's what the customer wants, making sure it's what they're wanting, and it's making sure that it's what you are wanting the job to look like. And leave it. You always want to leave something up to the customer. Like, you don't want to just go out of your way and do it, and then they didn't want it done, stuff like that. So you want to leave whatever it is up to the customer. It don't matter what it is. So you just want to leave it up to the customer. But if you got a pool in your yard, and after you get done working, jump into a pool. It's fine, whether it's a hot tub or whatever. So it's a living when you got to do it. So it's a living. You do whatever you can for a living. Do what you can. Do what you got. So live what you got. Like what you got. Stuff like that. Life doesn't change. It stays the way it. Nothing. Well, there's changes, but you know, other than that, everything just stays the same. Lawn care stays the same unless you're wanting to buy new equipment. Then you're upgrading, so things can change. So it's like, if you don't like the career or whatever, do something a little bit different to where uh, they just come back and do more. You know what I mean? It's a whole concept of making sure the career is right for you. Um, Ain't nobody gonna make the decision that you're wanting to make, and they're not gonna make the decision for you. So Yeah, you're not gonna make the decision. There, people are not gonna make the decision for you unless they're wanting it done. So you know what I mean? You just gotta do what you gotta do. Making the best of it. Okay. You just want to make sure you're making the best of it, making sure you're making the best of it for others. Because the other people are not, strangers are not gonna make whatever up for you. So you gotta do it for yourself and stuff like that. And that's kind of like telling somebody else, oh, if you want the job done, do it yourself. But you know that you don't want to make sure you want to make sure that you're not telling a customer that. Because you tell the customer that, it's a whole nother story. They're just going to call you and they're just going to, say, oh, this guy does something on the property that didn't look good. And if you mess something up on the property, whatever, you don't want to just leave it and not say anything. You want to make sure that they know about it, or you can go back and fix it before they found out, but you still want to mention something. You don't want to just leave it to where, nothing's been done and stuff like that. It's a whole nother concept on what you're doing. Another thing is you want to keep an eye out for your surroundings. Music shouldn't be too loud because if somebody walks up to you and they pat you on the back, you might jump and get scared, and that's because for one, your music's too loud. So you want to make sure it's on a slight where you can, hear people around you and stuff like that. Same thing with a lawnmower. I mean, I get that the lawnmower's loud and you want to have your music cranked up, but still, make sure that you're watching for your surroundings and making sure that when they come up to ask you a question or whatever, you're taking those ear protections off so you can still hear what they got to say and you're paying attention. Because if you still have them in and you don't pay attention, and you don't pay attention to what they're saying, you're not going to know what the next job might be. So safety is about the one thing here. So it's a whole nother, it's a concept that you want to know about. Say if there's something that the customer doesn't want to know about, then you don't have to tell them. But for the main thing, if you break something on the property, you want to make sure that they know about it or fix it before you leave, but still tell them, hey, something broke, but I fixed it. This thing, yada, yada, yada. Everything should be all right. They'll call you back and say, hey, we got more work for you. Stuff like that. So you want to just make sure that you're watching for your surroundings and stuff is all good. All right. So you just want to stick with that. That's the one thing after another thing. Small things you can just mow them over like leaves. You don't have to really rake them up because that's fertilizer for the grays. But I mean, if the customer wants you to rake the leaves so that way it don't kill the grass as much, then you can do that. But other than that, leaves are good fertilizer. You can just mulch them over and stuff like that with a lawnmower. And, it just goes with it, and it goes for the fun of it. And the most part is landscaping is going to be the right for you, or whatever. Once you get into my footsteps or whatever footsteps you want to go in, and you say, oh, this job's good, this is fun, uh, entrepreneurs are good. Once you start getting into that, you're gonna wish that you never even retired like I did. Once you keep doing it, and you're never gonna want to retire until you're like in your 30s or 50s or 80s. So that's just the whole concept there, buddy. So, all right, I'm gonna keep this. I'm gonna cut this out. So we're gonna cut it short tonight. We're gonna cut it short. Maybe I might be back on here later. I don't know. I'm a little tired as of right now. As you can tell, I did 2 yards. So keep on mowing. Keep making money, and you know, put your feet up and relax. And catch you here at the office. And Cardinal on Life out.